ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
A first in our nation's history. President Donald Trump is the first U.S. president to be impeached twice. Today, the House voted to impeach the president for incitement of insurrection after last week's violence in the nation's capital. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. That vote comes during heightened security threats in the wake of last week's attack on the Capitol. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze reports on the major effort to keep the Capitol secure here in the coming days.
A historic day in the House chamber, just 1 week after it was mobbed by pro-Trump rioters. Lawmakers voting to impeach President Donald Trump for the second time, a first in American history.
He must go. He is a clear and present danger to the nation that we all love.
In a 232-197 vote, the House reaching the simple majority needed to charge the president with incitement of insurrection. Just over a year ago, no Republicans voted to impeach Donald Trump, but tonight 10 did.
With a heavy heart and clear resolve, I will vote yes on these articles of impeachment.
Republican leader Kevin McCarthy not supporting impeachment, yet saying this about the president.
The president bears responsibility for Wednesday's attack on Congress by mob rioters.
Trump is still not taking any responsibility for the attack. The president not even mentioning impeachment in a video released after the vote, but condemning the violence.
No true supporter of mine could ever endorse political violence.
With 1 week to go until President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration, ABC News has learned authorities are monitoring up to 10 events organized by demonstrators coming back to Washington that some are calling a week of siege. One event planned to, quote, capture and detain Democratic politicians and set up a new government. In a Capitol building now surrounded by the National Guard, with thousands more on the way in coming days, members of Congress recounting the traumatic assault 1 week ago.
They searched the halls of this building for the vice president, who they came to hang for treason. They overran the office of the speaker, who they came to assassinate. They sought above all else to seize control of our government in the name of Donald Trump.
So what comes next on impeachment? The House must now send the article of impeachment to the Senate to trigger the start of a trial. But Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is now signaling that trial shouldn't start until after President Trump leaves office. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, the Capitol.
While President-elect Biden is trying to stay out of Congress's way on impeachment, he is asking them to also focus on his agenda. Biden hasn't said whether he believes President Trump should be convicted, although he has accused the president of inciting the attack on the Capitol. When the impeachment trial begins in the Senate, he wants them to simultaneously start hearings on confirming his cabinet appointees. Biden says he also wants to tackle slow vaccine distribution and economic stimulus.
Now to the coronavirus situation. San Diego County is hoping to ramp up its COVID-19 vaccination process, but officials explain there's just not enough vaccines to go around right now. Today, the state did announce that people 65 and older can now get vaccinated. But as our ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo tells us, the county says it still needs to finish vaccinating all of our healthcare workers in the first tier.
The goal is to speed up vaccinations starting in February and ideally have 70% of the population in San Diego County vaccinated by July 1st. Just as the state gave the green light to start vaccinating people 65 and older, the county said not so fast, explaining that they're still not done with healthcare workers in Tier 1A.
Because the vaccines have simply not arrived in significant quantities to be able to administer to those.
The total number of vaccines that have arrived in the county are just over 200,000, but the number of San Diegans in Tier 1A are 620,000, and each person needs 2 doses. San Diego has roughly 500,000 people in the 65 and over category. The vaccines are allocated by the California Department of Public Health.
We expect more vaccines to arrive soon, but we don't know when. And we don't know how many. We don't know which ones.
The county is working to open 3 more vaccine superstations, starting with the South Bay and then East and North counties, also looking for healthcare volunteers to administer the doses.
There is tremendous strain on our healthcare system, our nurses, our doctors.
Earlier in the day, delays at the vaccine superstation near Petco Park. Cars lining the streets after the county reported 6 apparent allergic reactions in people that had just been vaccinated. Vaccinations slowed down to be able to investigate.
And it was just the clustering of them together that led them to do I think a great slowdown to be able to assess the situation. Again, those cases are still under investigation, and it'd be premature to comment on any greater detail than that.
The county says EMT and ambulances were on hand, as they are every day, to respond to the reactions. Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
And the county reported another 3,200 cases today. That brings our total to more than 200,000. Also, another 54 San Diegans lost their lives to COVID. That brings that number to just under 2,000.
A team of experts head to Wuhan, China to investigate the origins of coronavirus exactly a year after the first case was reported there. This is video of members of the team departing today from Japan. They expect to be in Wuhan for about a month, and that's the city where the virus first began. The team is made up of scientists from several countries, including the U.S. Their visit comes as China has seen a surge in cases again, including their first COVID death in months.
The arrival of vaccines has given great hope. But the reality is that it's going to be months before we can possibly let our guards down.
And the pandemic is just one of the many things that Mayor Todd Gloria addressed in his first State of the City speech. Our ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura has more on some of the top issues the mayor plans to tackle.
The mayor spoke a great deal about what the city was doing in response to the coronavirus, but he also listed other priorities, including tackling homelessness and the city's budget deficit.
The state of our city is fragile right now, but I have faith that it won't be for much longer. You see, at the core, our city is strong because San Diegans are strong.
Speaking from the San Ysidro Branch Library, Mayor Todd Gloria delivered his first State of the City address virtually, saying San Diego still has a long road ahead out of the pandemic. He says the city is focused on opening vaccination centers like the one at Tailgate Park to provide more access when the vaccine becomes more widely available. In the meantime, the city will do what it can to help people make it through the pandemic.
Next month, we will bring a proposal to the City Council that will extend our current eviction moratorium to keep families in their homes, help folks pay back their rent, and stop small businesses from being evicted.
Gloria also spoke about the city's financial problems.
I've inherited a budget deficit that exceeds $150 million and will require difficult decisions to preserve neighborhood services.
Gloria also said the city needed to do more to tackle chronic homelessness. The city recently turned 2 hotels into permanent supportive housing. Gloria says more is needed. He also pledged to add more resources for those facing homelessness. The mayor also spoke about law enforcement practices, saying he and Police Chief David Nislight agreed on accountability in policing.
My administration will ensure accountability by working with the City Council to implement a new independent police review commission that will address allegations of police misconduct.
The mayor also addressed San Diego's housing problems. He says San Diego isn't building enough homes to keep up with population and job growth.
We're going to focus on creating more housing that middle and working class people can afford.
Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
A coronavirus outbreak at a Kaiser hospital in San Jose is growing. More than 90 cases have been reported, with at least 15 patients and 77 staff members infected. One worker passed away. It all started on Christmas Day when an employee wearing an air-powered Christmas tree costume walked the hallways of the emergency department at the hospital. Kaiser says the costume likely is responsible for the outbreak. And now health officials are worried that people who need medical care may delay seeking it.
The decision to seek medical care should be made independent of this type of fear.
The county fined Kaiser $43,000 for failing to alert authorities and the public about the outbreak in a timely manner. Kaiser plans to appeal, saying they notified patients about the potential exposure.
Family and friends of a missing Chula Vista mother spent the morning searching for her at a hiking trail near her home. Maya Miliete disappeared 5 days ago, missed her daughter's birthday on Sunday, and then didn't show up to work all this week. Her sister believes she left with only her ID and possibly her phone and credit card, but that card's not been used.
We love her, and that no matter what she's going through, we're here for her. She just had to let us know, just a little hint, I think, Cole, to let us know you're okay.
ABC 10 News spoke with Miliete's husband yesterday. He told us they did get into a fight last Thursday and she left to, quote, blow off steam, according to the husband, but didn't come home.
Well, a special caravan tonight in honor of a North County firefighter battling cancer.
Andy is one of probably the most gregarious people I've ever met, lights up a room.
That man is a good friend of Andy Valenta. Valenta is an 11-year veteran of the Vista Fire Department. Several weeks ago, he started getting headaches. Then came the diagnosis, cancer. Monday, Valenta had a stroke. The cancer spread to his brain. Ever since he got sick, Valenta's firefighter friends have been helping his family. And today is Valenta's daughter Lily's 4th birthday. In honor, fire engines from across the area joined in a birthday parade by their house.
We hope his family feels the outpouring of support, and they'll always have our love.
We put a link to the family's GoFundMe page on 10news.com.